Everybody, it's ET. We're going to work on another day worth of game programming and 3D modeling and Unity box things and all of that. So, welcome to Sand City. Alright, so I have a fan on in the background because it's kind of hot. I just don't know if you hear it or not. So, I'm going to lower it just a bit. Kind of raise it. Yes. Alright, hope you don't hear it too much. I see the little volume thing going, but that's okay. Alright, so let's open up Unity. Let's open up Twitch. Let's do a whole bunch of stuff. Yep. Let's go here, Twitch. We are not playing StarCraft 2. I played StarCraft 2 last night. It was good. It was fun. But today we're doing ETdoFresh Unity3d Season 1 Episode 14. And I don't know what we're going to talk about today, so we'll have to look at a bit. And we are totally playing game development, because that's a fun game. I'll come back to figure out what I got to name this. Okay, so let's look at Unity. Go to test stream. Yum yum yum. Waiting for Unity. Here we go. README. Let me say hi to myself on the chat. Hi, myself. Okay. So we have TeamViewer up. All right. README. Did I click it? There it goes. Alright, so what did we do last time? Last time we added some more sandcastles, and we still have tons of sandcastles to add. Might not want to do that now, but we can do that later. Today, man, I did not even prepare anything today, so we just got to think about what we want to do. I guess I kind of want to do the controls a little better. So change controls so that's a PC only game. Yeah, let's just mess with the controls again. Nothing really you can see or feel on your end, but it will be well worth it. Smooth. Oh gosh, yeah, I got some big plans coming up, I see. Okay. So controls. Let's look at what we have so far. Okay, right now, if I hit play, our controls are this. We can move around with the left click. We can hit space to jump. We can hold down shift to walk. We can hold down C to crawl, to crouch. And right click doesn't do anything. Middle click doesn't do anything, nor does the mouse wheel. We also have WASD, which is this and this. So that is all the controls for this third-person camera. If I hit tab, that gets me to the first-person camera. So if I do a left click, I dig. If I do a right click, I put sand down. And if I do WASD, nothing happens. If I hold down middle click, I kind of get a moving thing happening, but not in the exact direction I want it to. So that definitely needs to be fixed. So left and right click. Control, Alt, C. None of that stuff does anything. Maybe Control. Control is the same thing as left click. Alt is the same thing as right click. And that's it. Okay. So let's fix that up. It's kind of unnatural. It feels a little weird. I guess we want to do this. We want, for third person, left click can still be moved, so I'm not going to change any of that script. Right click can be, I guess if you're holding down the right click, I want to rotate around the character. And then I want to use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. And I'll forget the keyboard, or I'll leave the keyboard stuff there for now too. Okay, so how are we going to do that? That's all going to be in scripts. It's going to be a control. Let's do control, rotate, and zoom. So we know that stuff's pretty set up. How do we expand everything? So if we have advanced or bookmarked or outlining, no, IntelliSense, no, outlining. So MO collapses everything. MU, MP and MO. I kind of like that. Oh wait, MP, MU. MO. Let's try MO first. That kind of sounds crazy. So MO basically collapses everything except the class. So that's interesting. But MP expands everything. Control M, Control P, Control M, Control O, all of that. So okay. So I'm definitely getting all the input axes here. So for the zoom camera, I want it vertical, or we can just use the mouse. So input dot get. Is it button as well? Is there a button like scroll wheel or something? Let's see. Edit, project settings. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting a lot of chats. I didn't even notice that. Let me pop this out so I can see what's going on. Oh wait, it's over here. Keyard, what's up, man? Welcome back. So we're talking about controls. I'll just move you over here. Controls are fun. What? There is no vomit emoji, and I love Visual Studio, dude. What's wrong with Visual Studio? Alright, so I'm trying to figure out my computer. Oh, well, that sounds like a personal problem. Let's see. Input. So there is a mouse scroll wheel input, so I'm going to grab that. So I'm going to say if vertical. Yeah, the mono develop is really good. Like everyone, I would say about like 80% of the tutorials use the mono develop instead of Visual Studio. I don't know. I love Visual Studio. I'm a sucker for it. Although I did mess with something the other day. It was like JetBrains or something. Like any product by JetBrains feels very intuitive too. So I like JetBrains. Okay, so I wonder if yeah, so this does have an axis too. So I'm gonna say input. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. I'm going to say axis value equals. So let's say if input dot get axis vertical is greater than input dot get axis mouse scroll wheel. So we're gonna just find the biggest axis. So if this is greater than that, and I really should just type it out. Oh gosh, I am going crazy. I'm just gonna double check it. I know this is like horrible, but so if it's vertical, do the vertical thing. Else, do the mouse scroll wheel thing. Alright, cool. So we're checking either if I'm hitting W or S on the keyboard or if I'm using the scroll wheel. So let's see if that works. We added the scroll wheel to the third person camera. So hit play. So I can move around at the left, and if I scroll wheel, nothing happens. Exactly what I expected. Not at all. We need to figure out why the scroll wheel isn't working. Okay, so we're saying if get button vertical or input that get button scroll wheel It's not a button, is it? Oh no, my timetable's messed up. I just got home from work and I just said I'm gonna start streaming now. So I started like 30 minutes. No, 20 minutes early. I don't know, 10 minutes early. Yeah, I'm a little messed up. It's okay. We all are a little messed up, just a bit. All right. So I'm trying. I'm getting scroll wheel, but I don't think scroll wheel is the right thing to do. Is it? I don't think it's a button, right? I'm gonna say get axis scroll wheel greater than 0. That's all I'm gonna do. I see it zooming in. It's not zooming out because it could be less than 0. So maybe it was get button. Chicken burger sounds delicious. Alright, so yeah, the scroll wheel doesn't work at all if I do get button. So get axis is okay. So that's cool. But it has to be greater than 0, and the whole thing, it can't just be positive. It has to be positive or negative. So, so I could just do not equals 0. So let it kind of compile, do its thing. Okay, zoom in, zoom out. Okay, it's doing it. It's just really slow. So let's figure that out. Are you trying to make it zoom in on your third person? Absolutely. And I got it working. I just need to put a multiplier in here, just something ridiculous. There we go. I think still feels not enough. I need to go ahead and do 10 maybe. There we go. Smooth like a baby's bottom. And then this is with the keyboard. With the keyboard it kind of has a more like natural feel, but it works with the mouse wheel too. And that feels about the same. It's a hybrid, man. It's going to be first and third person. So look, I can walk around. So Keyard just asked, is it first or third person? And I'm like, it's a hybrid. So I go here. Look, there's a sandcastle I tried to build over there. So I'm going to kind of point at it, and then I hit tab, and I'm looking at it in first person right now. But I think what I want to do for the first person is I kind of want it to feel more like an FPS. Like I just want to use the mouse to look around and use some keys to go forward and backwards. I was trying to make a whole new like control scheme, but that just wasn't working out. So, because right now I have like, if you right click, you can, no, if you middle click, you can pan around, and that looks okay. But it just doesn't feel like I want it to feel. Like, because I was trying to think mobile platform. How would you move around on the mobile platform? Like, you just drag, right? You can just drag in the first person. But I also want him to do stuff in the first person. Like, I want him to dig in the sand. So like, if I left click now, I can dig in the sand. If I right click, I build sand. How are you thinking of making interact with sand? Like, this is what I'm thinking. You can only interact with sand in the first person, like I'm doing right now, kind of digging. And then I just I'm thinking of having some buttons is the next thing. So like, this is the dig tool, which I'm using right now, or like just the hand tool. The other functions would be a sandcastle mold, so you just put sandcastle molds everywhere. And the other thing would be maybe like a smooth tool, because right now it's like, it's really hard. Like, if I try to fill this hole in, it just gets really nasty looking and doesn't look very good or natural. So I want to kind of have like a smoothing or a pat down kind of function. So yeah, those are the 3 things I'm thinking. So an in-game Blender sculpting mode, kind of. Uh, yeah, is that so I don't know much about Blender sculpting mode. Is that what it kind of does? Like you kind of paint on the surface? Because if so, yes, that is exactly what I'm going for, and that's what I'm essentially doing. Like, this is just a square brush that I'm kind of like pushing all over this 3D terrain. Uh, of course, I want it to look a lot nicer, because right now it looks like I'm playing on the moon or some kind of dark sand beach that's really super shiny, and I'm just doing that so I can see the exact looks and feels of it and everything. But I got tons left to do. But yeah, it's kind of like clay modeling. Yeah, exact. Oh, the Blender thing's like clay modeling. Yeah. Uh, so this is kind of like that, but I'm kind of trying to go for the sand thing, you know. But we'll see how it works out. Okay, so I'm gonna get back to the code. So we got the scroll wheel working. So third person I think is feeling pretty good. I forgot what else I had to do in third person. So I have third person. Oh yeah, if I'm holding down the right click, I want to kind of orbit around the player. So I have it working with the left and the right like this, but I kind of want it also on the mouse. So the scroll wheel works, left click works, now I just need right click to work. So let's do it. So that's also on the rotate and zoom. So this is what I'm going to do. Alright, so you're saying the clay modeling in Blender is bad for geometry but fast to get your model to get a good stage, then you can retopologize. Yeah. And get the polygons in the right order and everything, totally. What's up, K Stress 71? Thank you for following, like I'm doing. What am I doing on this thing? Yeah, I don't know. I did that a long time ago. Yeah, it's cool. That's what you use like Mudbox and ZBrush for, right? Like you basically play with clay. That is the intention of that software. And then you can make normal maps and retopologize. And like I tried Mudbox retopologize tool, and man, that thing's amazing. Like you just say, oh, you want a curve here and a curve here on the thing, and you hit retopologize, and it like makes it this really low polygon thing, and I loved it. So check that out if you haven't. And Autodesk Mudbox, and I think ZBrush probably has a very similar thing, but I learned in Mudbox. So yeah. Okay, back to this. So if I get button horizontal, do that. Else, if input dot get button, what's the right mouse button? So if I go here, project settings, input, I think it's probably just fire 2 is mouse 1. Yep. So fire 2, then do rotation. Alright, well we got to do two things. First we're going to check oh man, yeah, this is going to be a little tougher than I thought. I'm like, oh, this just be a simple thing I got to do. But first we got to check if the fire button is down. So if you hit it, the second you hit it down, you want to keep track of where you started. Yeah. Do you know what's cheaper, Keyard? Is it ZBrush or Mudbox that's cheaper between those two software packages? Because I really want to get into that next. Alright, so if button down is fire 2, we're going to keep track of where we clicked. So we just say last mouse position, or mouse position down equals input dot mouse position. And it's like, you don't have that variable. I'm like, make that variable. Okay, and so you have your mouse position down, and then you're basically going to make a velocity out of how far away you are from the mouse position. So this is how I will do it. I'll just say rotation plus equals Alright, well first I'm going to get a direction. So direction will be, I'm going to make an int direction, and that will just be, I'm going to think about it, direction. It will be absolute value of input.mouse position.x. So we're getting the absolute value of mouse position x. Oh, minus mouse position down dot x divided by, geez, let me just make this two variables just because I don't want it to be that long. Float, we'll call this delta x position. So what's the change in x? So if I press the mouse button down here, if my next position's on this side, it'll be negative. If it's on this side, it'll be positive. Oh wow, yeah. So ZBrush is $795 flat out for your lifetime. Mudbox is $10 per month. Mudbox, yeah. I bet you there's probably another package for Mudbox that you could pay like probably around that same price. So I'm sure they're comparable, but I think ZBrush is like ZBrush I see a lot more than I do Mudbox. Like people don't, I guess, look down on Mudbox, I think, but I like Mudbox. All right, so delta position is what I was typing right here, the input mouse position, and the so we got the delta x position. So I'm going to get the absolute value of that divided by that. So really, that'll just give me a -1 or a 1 or a 0. So that's the whole point of that. And what I will do is cast this whole thing as an int. Okay, so we got the direction, we got the mouse position, so all we do now is rotation plus equals the direction, whichever way we're going, times, what I'm going to do is just say vector 3.distance mouse position down to input.mouse position. So now we're just getting the distance between where we started the cursor to the end. Okay. Hopefully that's it. Yeah, and I'm using 3D Studio Max. So Kiard said, hey, if you're using other Autodesk products, Mudbox is probably more compatible. And yeah, like I'm gonna open 3D Studio Max and just show you can open up your models right into Mudbox. If I still have Mudbox in here. Oh yeah, I do. Awesome. Okay, so that should work, I think, for the controls. Let's give it a shot. Oh, so Mudbox is a lot cheaper, huh? Whoa, it's so fast though. It works. Might have to divide it by something. I might just times it by delta time just so it's not so crazy. So that's a lot faster than my keyboard rotation like this, right? So that's my keyboard rotation. This is my mouse rotation. That's awesome. The camera guy's throwing up. Why are you making me do this? Yeah. So Mudbox, if I open up some of my models, like this sandcastle I built, so I have that. I think I could just say send to Mudbox, and it'll send the model straight to Mudbox. So we'll see if that works. I'm gonna give it a shot. Oh, no, let's just select this object and send that to Mudbox. Send that to as a new scene to Mudbox. And we'll see how that goes while that loads. Okay, so I need to slow down the input here. The input is too fast. So I said I'm going to multiply this by time.delta time. Hopefully that slows us down just enough to make this feel comfortable. So let it load for a second. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh, that feels good. If I just do a little bit, you get that kind of slow rotation. Am I planning to have an auto movie making option that will make a camera weave between castles, etc., making a video montage? Ooh. Who knows, man? That's big picture stuff. I'm barely making castles here. But yeah, so that's definitely part of it. I want other players to either share their castles with each other. So definitely, I'm thinking either network ability or some way, yeah, I guess to save a movie of your castles. Yeah, and that's definitely a piece of this is the water, and that's if you look on my README. I know you can't see the README, but I scroll down here, and it's under my head, so too bad you can't see it. It says water waves, and like that's gonna be a big project in itself because I gotta figure out how water works. How am I gonna wash these castles away? Yeah, that so I'm scared of that. When people mention water in this game, I get so scared because I don't know how that works in like game logic, you know. But I'll figure it out. We'll make something that at least feels believable. I don't know. So here's it in Mudbox. I know I don't have it all set up exactly the way I'm supposed to, and I actually don't even remember how to pan the camera. It's not space. It's not middle click. That it's not right click. How do you pan the camera? That's how you rotate it. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to move the camera in Mudbox. I am silly. Oh well. It's here. It's in Mudbox. And you can do whatever you want in here. And you can like sculpt and stuff. This is like playing with clay, like you said. Of course, I gotta probably subdivide it a lot more for it to do some good stuff. And some of the polygons are all messed up, you can see, but here I am. How do I unselect it? Because it looks awful when you have it selected. There we go. And I have a whole bunch of bad polygons. That's what all those red lines are. Anyway, that looks cool, right? Alright, yeah, I'm going to close that out. Pretend that never happened. Yes, exactly. Have shells and little flags I'm thinking you could put on the top of your castles. Little umbrellas or big umbrellas. Who knows? But basically, you have to work your way to earn it. So I'm thinking you're going to start off with just your hand or maybe a hand and a simple bucket, and that's all you can use at the beginning to build your castles. But eventually, you can get molds and different things, and you can create bigger sand castles and cooler sand castles. And who knows, maybe all you need is the hand tool, and you can make the best sand castle ever. But the molds will definitely help you. But yeah, I love it. That's definitely the plan. Alright, for some reason, my guy's not moving anymore, and I don't know if that was just me. Alright, so here he is moving. Here's the right click. It's definitely from where you began. Should have some kind of animation or something showing you that you're right clicking. It's okay. Third person feels pretty good. It has a good like mouse supplement, so it's just the mouse. Now let me get to the first person because that is where everything is kind of, I feel, off, and so let's fix that. Let's see. You should have a sand person, and you have to build castles, defend yourselves from the seas and the waves and other sand people, and have moats to stop intruders. So yeah, I definitely like the building the sand castles to like stop some kind of intruder in some way, whether it's water, whether I was thinking maybe marine life, like I don't know, jellyfish or I don't know, even seaweed or some silly stuff, but make them like kind of caricatures or something that they're actually like baddies in some way, and it could kind of be like a tower defense kind of thing where you're like defending your castle, and then the moats could be a way to like divert the water, and you know, stuff like that. You say the moats can stop intruders, and then throw water with shells, and attack one another. Ooh, I do like the. That's another good dynamic. Is I'm thinking either co-op where you guys build sandcastles together or within the same area and defend, or yeah, I guess you can have a kind of a battle mode where basically our sandcastles versus your sandcastles, and I just don't know what to send between them. Like, yeah, do we take little shell catapults of water and kind of throw it at the other player, or do we collect marine life and we can dispense our marine life based on some kind of point system? All to be determined. But yes, all really fun and good ideas. So I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the brainstorming. Alright, so let's fix the first person. So third person controls are good. So that's to actually dig. It's going to be this camera pan. Right now all I can do is camera pan. We're going to make a new script, and we're going to call this camera first person movement, or something like that. I might just call it movement first person. And then what I'm also going to do is kind of cheat and start stealing some Unity scripts just to see what they did. So to do that, we can go to our assets, import packages, characters. There's already a first person character controller in there, and I am out of drink already. That's too bad. So I'm going to select none here, and all I want is the first person controller. So let's see if I can find that here. First person controller. I'm sure we need all of you. So at the beginning of my stream, Keyard's asking what are the white cubes for? So at the beginning of my stream, one of the first things I really wanted to get right was the movement. So what I did was I merged 3 different movement engines into one. The first engine was the animation engine, the second movement engine was the nav mesh agent, and the third movement engine was the rigid bodies. So there was no easy way to just say, hey, yeah, make them all those three movement engines and let it go. There was a lot of heavy tweaking I had to do to get that working. But hold up one sec, let me fix this. Let me fix what's going on here. Yeesh. I imported some scripts and now I can't play my game, and I'm so sad. So I'm gonna delete this. Oh no, don't delete that scripts folder. Just the standard access script folder. Yeah, I'm gonna delete that right quick. So I was gonna show you right quick. So if I go to my player, here he is in scene view. He has a rigid body. He's also a nav mesh agent, so that's the cylinder. The rigid body is the capsule. And he is only being moved by rigid body movement, but that's being controlled by the animation. So if you look at his animation as he walks around, you can see his foot's doesn't slide at all on the ground. His feet hit the ground as it was intended to run. So maybe if I hit walk. So anyway, the animation's controlling the movement. And so the white cubes are just for me to test. So if I go here, I can test the rigid bodiness of it. And so that's looking good. I'm pushing it. And that's all. It was a test to see if the rigid bodies were working good. And they are. And if I make this rigid body, whichever one this is, kind of heavy, right now we're both massive 1, but if I made this a massive 5, I want to make sure I can't really push it. So if I try to go against it, I can't really push that. But if I start lowering this, you can see I'm starting to push it a little bit. So anyway, I wanted a more realistic thing where basically a character of mass 1 can't push around a cube of 2 or 3 or 4 without some hard pushing, you know? So yeah, that's all. That's all they're there for. I can probably delete them pretty soon. Okay, what am I doing? I always get... Keyard, this is great, man. I get distracted so easily. So I'm making a first person camera, and I'm going to re-import this stuff. Alright, I'm going to get it. Characters, right? Don't select anything. Only select scripts. First person scripts, please. Wherever you may live. Rollerball. First to me? Oh, is that me? Am I getting bad? I had my mic really low, and it was had my fan in the background. Oh, really? Maybe I'll turn off the fan then. Berg. Alright, now it should be nice and quiet so you can hear my lovely voice. Okay, so we're looking at these scripts. First person. Alright, the first person controller. Gosh, there's so many variables. I already feel like I am losing interest in that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my movement engine and I'm just going to adapt it to the keyboard. It's not really my movement engine. I stole it from Unity to begin with, so our movement engine, something like that. Okay, so let's take movement nav mesh rigid body, reload. So all you take is a vector move. Might have to check those out. Arctic Breeze fans. I have like a cheap Home Depot fan that I mean it does the job excellently, but yeah, it's just a little loud. Alright. So all I gotta do is send something to move update. So what am I doing in Unity? So we have the movement, but how do we control the movement? Camera, control, camera toggle, control third person camera. This is what, yeah, this is what I want to copy. Okay. And I'm going to make this into the movement. So what am I doing? I know, I'm mumbling to myself just because I'm thinking. And I'm still not sure. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the third person camera. I have a third person controls right here. I'm going to adapt this so that's kind of first person controls instead of third person controls. So that's all I am doing. Oh, but you just take movement events. I don't like what I did there. So movement event, what's happening? On movement. On movement does what? On movement sets the destination of the nav mesh agent. Okay, so we're definitely not going to be using a nav mesh agent in first person controller, so we definitely need to disable that first. I hate to do that though. So we gotta use a different. Oh, sorry, this thing's changing this to first person mode is blowing my mind a little bit. Okay, well let's start small. How am I going to handle disabling and enabling components when I switch cameras? Do I just do that when the camera is active, and does the camera even have any access to player? I'm gonna say no. I think the camera just launches events and player has to subscribe to the event. So the cameras don't have any reference to player. Oh, is that right? I had better graphics in episode 10 than I do now. What happened? I am doing this in 1080p. Maybe it just I have no idea, dude. Maybe it's your stream settings. Maybe you're just not grabbing the highest quality thing right now. I have no idea. But they should all be pretty close. Oh, my actual game. Uh, yeah, that's my other scene. That was when I was playing with just the terrain. This one, right? Where is everything? So yeah, we'll get back to this for sure. That's not what I'm worried about right now. It's not the graphics. I'm worried more about the controls and everything. And that's what's kicking my butt right now. Okay, so first person movement. If I hit basically forward, I want the guy to move forward. So let's just kind of start typing that code out and stop thinking so much. So we'll say if input dot get button is vertical, so up and down, we're going to have some other thing. We're going to have movement event, yes, but the movement handler is going to pass the camera and the camera and the movement. That's what we're going to pass in our other thing. Okay. So vertical, we're going to move forward or backwards. So we're just going to say movement event. No. Oh my gosh, what just happened? Okay. First we got to get a movement vector. So we're going to say vector3 movement. And that's going to be a 0. So right now we're not moving at all. You're going to initialize your update loop to not move at all. If you have vertical, you're going to say movement plus equals vertical input dot get axis vertical. Awesome. So we're moving in that direction. Now, if input, oh, so you don't know what I mean by that. Me neither. Let's see. Movement is going to be plus equals input times, I think movement's going to be, it's going to be vertical, so it's going to be, how's Unity work? If I go to X, X is left, right, Z is up and down. So I'm going to say Z. Movement.Z plus equals vertical. Alright, then we're just going to do the same thing with horizontal, and that will be X. So this is like a strafing kind of movement. He's not, what am I trying to say? Yeah, basically if he is left, he's going to move towards the left. If it's right, he's going to move towards the right. So it's all strafing. And it shouldn't, I guess. Yeah, I don't know how strafing works with the animation either. I'm going to try to like ignore animation, ignore nav mesh agent, and just work on the rigid body for now. So we have that. And we also have, so this is a movement nav mesh agent rigid body. I'm going to duplicate this. Can I do that here in Visual Studio? Nice. So instead of .copy or whatever this did, wait, how did it name it the exact same thing? I don't know. I don't have any of the basics of networks in place, but I did play with the UNet stuff, and that stuff is so easy to understand, and it's a very cool tool. So I'm very excited to try to use it in a bit. I mean in probably the next 10 or 20 streams when I get to it. Yeah, but networking's pretty easy. Like you just say, hey, this is what server's running, this is what the client's running, and that's it. And like everything kind of syncs. It even has its own syncing for rigid bodies, and it's pretty nice. I like it. So movement rigid body. No nav mesh agent whatsoever. I don't even have animation in this title, but animation is also a big piece of that. So I'm going to put this here in the scripts. Movement, just rigid body. So I'm going to take the nav mesh portion out of here. So this is movement rigid body. So we're going to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff right now. This is a different script, so we can get rid of that. Get rid of... Oh, wait, actually, what we can do is keep it and just say animator dot enabled equals false. Oh, I love it. And then we can just do this, nav mesh agent equals false. And that way this script, when this script gets enabled, oh wait, not when it gets enabled, but that's what I gotta do. Dot enabled equals false. So that's what I gotta do. Okay, in start we're gonna do this. We're gonna get another function, another Unity function, void on enabled. On enabled. I don't remember. We're gonna say disable these things. So we got animator, rigid body. I don't care about those things right now. I'm sorry, I don't know what CCs are. You're asking if I have to pay for CCs, and you've been using photons, you get 20 CCs for free, or CCUs, and I just don't know what they are. Concurrent users, maybe? Alright, so... yeah, okay. So this one's a little different. I think Photon might actually give you a server to use, but Unity, you have to host it from your own computer. I haven't used the... basically it opens up a port on your computer, and then you can connect other users to that computer. So one computer has to host, the other people connect to it. So there's no like global server. So your server is Unity. Now, I don't know if you want to try to program a server outside of Unity, which is kind of what I want to do, but that's just long-term goals. For now, I'll probably just have the server in Unity. It's kind of heavy, right, for just a server. The server just needs to get information and send it back. But yeah, and also I want the server to be authoritative. Either anyway, one of those. Yeah, exactly. So you'll lose your castles if the host leaves, or you'll lose your game. So like basically, what I have in mind is the server will have the beach, right? And depending on whoever's hosting will be where all the castles live. I really don't want the users very much to host servers. I'd rather have dedicated servers, maybe some by me, some by power users or whatever, and then people connect to these beaches. So they can play on their own like local beach, but then if they really want to kind of show off their work or anything, I want them to connect to a network beach or a remote beach. Um, Yeah, I could, or I think I could just provide the software. As long as you bought the game or bought the server, you can host it on whatever server you want. I don't think I'm going to get in the business of trying to host a whole bunch of servers, like proprietary servers. I think I'll just let it, here's the distribution for Mono Game. Mono Game can run on these versions of Linux and these versions of Windows, and then let them handle it themselves. And if the server doesn't work, you'll have to debug it yourself. Or you could, yeah, I guess I could host some, and they can pay me to host it for them. But I don't know. All very good stuff. Very far away. It's like a dream. It's over there somewhere. All right. Gosh. Yep. Let's keep going. So I'm not using control third person camera now. Now I'll be using, what am I doing? Movement first person. movement. Come on. Find my script for me. I don't want to have to type it all out. Did I not name it? Is that what happened? Yeah. It got named something else first. Movement first person. Movement dot movement events. Movement dot first person. Movement dot first person. Man, I can't believe it's already been an hour since I've been streaming. I feel like I just started. Oh, monogame. Monogame is kind of the kind of what Unity's built off of, and how they get it to be very platform independent. And I don't know if it's just a mono engine or mono game, but I know mono game was like how you convert your X and A code when you programmed in C# and X and A. That's how you would get it onto different platforms like Linux and Mac and Windows and iOS and Android. So monogame is a very cool little. It's what takes that. So what C# is, it's like an interpretive language. It's not actually a compile language. So it makes all this code, and then there's like an intermediary thing that it compiles to. So like C# is the code. It compiles to this thing called ILP, which is like interpretive language, and then that ILP gets converted to different platforms' assembly code. So monogame is kind of like monogame was the XNA libraries for the ILP code, so that you can use these libraries on any assembly language, or at least a big variety of them. And Unity is doing the same thing, using some kind of mono engine, and it just might be the mono engine. I don't know. I don't know the specifics, but it's something like that. Okay, so right now we're subscribed to these events on Movement First Person, and Movement First Person is doing just the vertical movement thing, so these other events won't actually launch. So why did I use Fire 1 instead of Mouse 1? Or Fire 2 instead of Mouse 1, because Mouse 0 is left click, Mouse 1 is right click, Mouse 2 is middle click. Fire 1, Fire 2, Fire 3 is like left click, right click, and middle click, I think. Anyway, why did I use Fire 1 instead of Mouse 1? I don't want to hard code Mouse 1, because if I ever do an option screen that where you can kind of change controls, you don't want to actually hard code mouse button 1. You want to say Fire 1, and then you basically say, okay, what key is Fire 1? And that's all. That's the reason I use Fire 1. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. So we don't have to worry about nav mesh. We don't have to worry about animator. We just have to worry about the move update. So on animator move. Oh, but that's where all the good stuff happens. We'll have to look at that later. So I'll keep that there. Yeah, enjoy. I'm going to get focused. Thanks for the questions, man. But I'm going to get into coding mode. So come back, say hi, get your snack, man. Okay. Animator stuff, I'm not too worried. So I'm going to delete this. Movement update. If it's greater than 1, normalize it. Okay, that's fine. Yep, if it's basically we're turning this move vector into how much is it forward and how much is it turning. The forward amount is the Z, and that's what we got for sure. That's the up and down. So we're going to check the ground status, apply extra turn rotation. I'm going to comment these 2 things out, maybe 3 things out. Handle ground movement. So what do we do? If you're is jumping, okay, so we're checking for jumping stuff. Gosh, I'm going to just delete all this stuff. Right now it's all confusing me right now, and we're kind of just re-implementing this in first person mode. So I'm going to delete this, check ground status. I might keep that. I'm not going to do any of this apply root motion stuff because animator right now is out of the question. This is to rotate the character. I'm commenting out, but I'll leave that code there. The on movement, so when we actually get on movement, all we gotta do is, what do we have to do? If we get the actual input, oh yeah, what do we do? I guess we just set a oh, I see. I'm using the nav mesh velocity. So now instead of nav mesh velocity, we're going to use like a movement vector, and that will be specified up there. So we have this movement vector, and this movement vector is going to be updated when we actually do something here. It's going to equal goodness. What am I thinking? We'll definitely unsubscribe this way too. Okay, I'm sorry, thinking. So on movement, what's getting passed? We're passing oh, we're not even calling it yet. So here we're just going to say movement event. We got to pass the camera, which is this. Oh no, which is camera. And we also got to pass this movement vector. Okay. So I know, you're like, why is this so complicated? And I'm like having this very decoupled thing because I don't know why. I feel like in the future it'll be more helpful to like change controls on this only and not have to worry about looking through a whole bunch of code here. So okay, so we have movement equals, we have camera, and now this vector 3 is going to be movement. So that's going to be pretty easy. So you say movement equals movement, and I'm not going to worry about the camera right now. Yeah, that's not bad. So movement's only based on this, so when move update happens, we're going to check if this magnitude is greater than 1, you normalize it, check if it's walking, and then you multiply it by half. Otherwise, do a whole bunch of stuff. And where do we actually move the player? We move the player on the animator move, which we'll have to change now. So you have animator velocity, rigid body velocity. Okay, thinking. I don't know. I definitely want to add the force and everything on a fixed update, so not on this update, but let's just go ahead and make another void fixed update. So all the physics really prefers to run on these fixed updates as opposed to the actual update. I'll get a delta velocity. Let's figure this out, shall we? So delta velocity, I'm not worried about the animator velocity. So really, gosh, I think I just want to rewrite this in general. So we have the movement around. We're not going to really worry about us turning too much. We're going to more worry about us I don't know. Let me look at the animation right quick. Because what's really bothering me is the strafing. How do I handle that? If I look at my animation controller, I look at the grounded, and I know you don't see the preview tree, so I wonder if I what do I do? Right click it. Yeah, there we go. I'll put it here just so you can see it. So right now if I hit play, he's going to be the idle stage because this is the idle. But if I go left, it's just him turning, not really moving. It almost has to be like a 3D kind of thing. That's him moving forward, that's him moving sideways like that. He doesn't move backwards. He does definitely turn. I don't think I can use this right now as is for my strafing. I might have to look up Mechanim strafing just to see if anyone's done anything. But until then, I will not worry about the animation for now. I do want the animation to work because maybe there's a strafing animation and then I can like get the player to do whatever. Lordy. And I gotta go pee. So I don't know what to do. I think I'm just gonna put up something right quick just to say I'll be right back. This notepad. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, typically try to not do that. Alright, so like I said, we're going to forget the animation for now. Yeah, save the changes, let's keep it going. Okay, so instead of rotating and everything, the movement right now is just going to be strafe, forward, and backwards. So to do that, we're not going to worry about any of this. All we're going to have is gosh, I just say move equals movement, right? Or the other way around. Movement equals move. It's weird, right? I don't know if I like it. I think I just delete this whole thing. Okay, so I delete that whole thing. You don't do anything on update. You will do stuff. So on fixed update, we got the mass. The force should be mass times movement. Here we go. This is what we'll do. If movement dot magnitude is greater than 1, movement dot normalize. Something like that, right? So now we got at least something that's 1. Now we're just going to add a force of the movement. So your desired movement will be lordy. Justin Long. Oh, is that the actor? Maybe so. Navmesh agent dot speed. Cool. I think I like him. He's funny. All right. Movement at magnitude normalize. Mass is rigid body mass. I don't want to do any of this right now. All I want to do is just freaking add a force to this guy in the direction I'm pressing the keys. And for some reason that is taking a monumental task in my head for some reason. So movement. So I'm just going to add force movement. And so will that work? I don't know. I don't know. But you know what I am going to do? I'm going to delete all of this stuff until I feel, oh, I probably need that. Awesome. I don't have the coding experience to be a badass hacker, although I could pretend to be one pretty well. Turn them out, forward them out, ground normal I'll keep, initial check, all that I'll keep. Okay. Ground check distance. Oh, I needed that one. Okay, let's keep that one. Public float ground check distance equals 0.2f. Okay. Trying to keep this super simple, deleting all the unnecessary stuff. You look very unnecessary. You are not that unnecessary, and I'll keep you. You are unnecessary for now. Those are okay for now. Okay. Oh my gosh! Why is this so hard for me? So we got movement, rigid body, and the movement first person. I'm going to close everything else out. Those are the only two scripts I need to worry about right now. I could have just said close all and just probably open those. But okay, movement, rigid body, movement first person. Awesome. Let me close the animator. Let's look at what we have. I'm going to put this back to where it belongs by closing it. Okay, so we have the player. He has a player camera. Right now he's using camera pan script. I'm going to remove that. Let's go ahead and add the script we just made, which was control first person or movement first person. No, we want the control thing first. So camera first person? Wait, what do we call it? I already forgot. Movement rigid body and movement first person. Oh, okay. Not like we did for the other one, which is control first person camera. Third person. I might call it control first person camera. Okay, let's do it that way. Just because we need to keep it consistent. Control rename. That's not what I meant to do. Control first person movement. Oh man, yeah, I started with Java in school a long time ago. Then I learned like HTML and JavaScript and all of that. Then I learned PHP, which got me into object-oriented, well, more into object-oriented language because I learned Java, but not too much. I learned the basics of object-oriented stuff there. But when I learned PHP, I really wanted to learn more about object-oriented programs. And then from there I went to Lua because Corona SDK used Lua, and that was very much like JavaScript as opposed to Java and PHP. So I kept like jumping back and forth from like a prototype objective language to a class-based objective language. So I don't know. I like them both. I prefer the traditional like class something languages, so that kind of object-oriented program. But you can do object-oriented programming in any kind of language, at least, you know, somewhat. Alright, so control first person movement. I have this get component camera, vertical, horizontal. Okay. That's kind of looking like I want it to look. So control first person camera. Did I not rename the file? I didn't rename the file. So here we go. Let's rename it. I need you. Oh, I can't select you there? Okay, well, whatever. Control first person movements. Python. I learned that this past spring semester. Very cool thing. I liked Python. We used it to. I took a big data course in spring, and what they did was they're like, how do you get a lot of data? And like, so we used Python to extract all the news stories from CNN, and we grabbed like 600,000 news stories, and we did a word count, and basically we're using that versus the stock market to see, how did that correlate? Oh, what? 46% through a Python course? Oh, you must be getting one of those like certificates or something in Python, right? Like I didn't do any of that. I'm just learning through university right now. Okay, so player camera now should have the control first person movement script on it. Um, so when it's enabled, this gets enabled, and when that gets enabled, the camera script will, what will it do? First person movement. You don't do anything when you get enabled or disabled. We basically are always sending events. Cool. Online course, Code Academy. I don't know much about that. I should know more. But I just do this as a hobby. I have a full-time job over at the university, work in the records office, but I really want this to take over. What's really intuitive? The Code Academy? Is that intuitive, or the actual Python language? Um, so I got first person movement and movement rigid body. So what do I do here? Do I just attach that to player too? Because right now player does have the movement nav mesh body script. So do I just attach this too? That just seems wonky. I don't like it one bit. I don't like how I did that at all. Yuck. No, don't like it. But we'll see if it works. We'll see if it works. Somehow I gotta disable and enable the script, and I'm not doing that at all. And that's the problem with decoupling it way too early. Now you have all this crazy crap that you don't know what to do with. Alright, I'm going to just do it by hand for now until I really know what I'm doing. Okay. So right now the script's disabled. I'm going to go to first person camera. I'm already getting tons of errors. You're saying, hey dude, you're crazy, you don't know what you're doing, and I agree. Null reference, there is, it's not set to an object. What, camera's not set to an object? Is that what you're telling me? I believe it. Control first person movement. Okay. Fine. I believe you. Camera, get component camera. Yep. That looks fine. So why don't you have movement is here. It's obviously set already. Camera, it happens on the start, so you should be fine. Camera here is set on the start. So I don't understand the problem here, guys. What is the problem? Cool. So why are you Keyard, why are you learning Python? What's your goal with this? To get a job? Camera. I'm gonna make it public just to see if it's working at all. Yeah, player camera, so that exists. Movement definitely exists. Are you just telling me bogus stuff to make me angry? I think you are. Player camera works fine. Okay. I hit tab. Oh, first control first person movement 33. I'm gonna just pause it. Jump into here. Movement event gets shot over somewhere else. So movement event is here. You're part of a movement handler. You have a camera and a vector 3, which is fine. Movement's getting passed. Gets passed over to here. On movement goes here. We have another thing, and you pass the movement here. Movement gets basically on fixed update. We just check it, normalize it, and you add it. Okay, not a big deal. That should be fine. But you're not really telling me what's happening. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Okay, I think I understand. So basically, object reference not set to an instance of the object. Actually, I don't understand, but I'll just pretend I understand. So you are enabled. If I clear you, will you keep going? Okay, now that this is enabled, when it's disabled, does it give me problems? Who knows? Okay, so here we go. No, none of my controls are working. Oh man, my brain is just not into it today, I guess. Because I really want this to be a first-person controller, and I think I'm just going to delete all that work I just did because I am not happy with whatever's happening here. I am going to remove this. And I'm about to read what Keyard said. I'm just going to clean this up though before I do. Remove this. So now you have no movement in first person. So if I save this, play this. Yep, I can't do anything except play in the sand, which is fine. It's just perfect. That's what I want so far. Okay. Kier says, I'm a lot like you and do it as a hobby. I started learning C# and Unity from YouTube, but felt like I could deviate from the tutorials much because of lack of knowledge of what code can do, and couldn't find a course on C# that was free and really intuitive, but then was told it's kind of the same, just different formatting and a few different commands. So I thought I'd learn Python, then work up to C#. Yeah, that sounds sounds good, man. That's how I started. I definitely learned from a lot of tutorials. Uh, some of the basic like 1000 level courses at my university really helped me understand the basics too. So I was really fortunate to learn a lot there. But I feel like if you understand just the basics of programming, like what variables are, what functions are, what objects are, what instances are, what classes are, like if you understand truly what those mean, and like you can picture them almost in memory, I feel like you can program in just about any kind of language. But me, unfortunately, can't program in any damn language because I am having such a hard time with all of this. So yeah, so my opinion probably means nothing. Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead and just steal code. At the end of the day, that's what we do, right? I'm going to import the characters. Let's just steal the entire first person. Shoot, let's just steal the entire standard asset right now of characters and just attach it to this and see what happens. Dun dun dun. You know what it is, right? I ran out of drink, and that's why I can't program anymore. What? Were you gonna get me some? Oh, I have a hero over here. Awesome. Someone's gonna get me some drink and reboot this whole thing. And that special someone, I can't tell you who that is. And she's not walking behind me right now. Alright, anyway. Back to what I'm doing. Back to life. Back to reality. Okay. If I took this rigid body first person controller and just threw him on the scene for no good reason, we get this rigid body first person controller with its own camera and everything, right? And a head bob. Oh, it even has a head bob script. How cool is that? Okay, so we have that. I'm just gonna hit play. What happens? Nice. Oh, this is cool. Let me, thank you. Oh, yeah. Now I'm back in it. I'm back in to win it. Let's maximize this. So this is the first person controller, the rigid body one, and if I click on stuff, nothing happens, right? I can push that character around. Hey, get out of here. So this is a cool rigid body first person controller. This is exactly what I want to do. I have the jump. Do I have crouch? Control C? Well, I don't have crouch, but I can definitely implement that pretty easily. So this is what I want, right? So I don't know why I'm spending all this time trying to do exactly just this. First person, and then I can like go play in my sandcastles, and then go back to third person and, you know, hang out. Okay, so definitely stealing a lot of that code. Key art says PHP or JavaScript next if I want to work my way up to C#, which is more similar. As Code Academy don't do C#, sad face. Oh gosh, that's a hard question. Because literally JavaScript is Unity script, so you could do that. But PHP is definitely more class-based, and PHP and JavaScript are two different things, right? Like PHP is your server-side language, and JavaScript is your client-side language. So they do have Node, which is JavaScript on the server side, but gosh, that's a hard question. I would almost say Java, or would be the closest thing to C#. So if they have a code on a course on Java, that's the way you want to do it. Yeah, because dude, JavaScript is the ultimate client language, man. It's runs from every web browser, and it's an awesome language. JavaScript rocks, but I think if you can learn Java instead of JavaScript, you'll be a lot more able to handle C#. Because jumping from JavaScript to C# is like a completely different beast. Okay, time to steal code. How do we do this? So let's look at how it's set up first. Okay, so the rigid body, or basically the player, has the script called first person controller. What does first person controller do? You have forward speed, backward speed, strafe speed, and a multiplier, and a run key, and a jump force. All sorts of awesome things. So, oh, and if you're on a mobile input, if you're not on a mobile input, you have a running command. But if you are on a mobile input, you don't have that running command. Interesting. I wonder why they did it that way. We'll see. So, okay, we get inputs of vector2. And how are they computing input? They say if input. Oh, so input's just something we're going to pass in here. A vector2. Yeah, man. I guess the closest thing that would be closest to a traditional class-based language would be PHP, unfortunately, and that's a stretch, man. Like, jQuery, HTML, CSS. I don't know about Ruby. I don't know much about Ruby. I've never programmed in Ruby, so I don't know the format or the syntax of Ruby. So yeah, good luck choosing, Keyard. Alright, so what am I doing here? Cool. So they're really like, if you're on a PC, you can definitely do all this like run key stuff. But if you're on mobile input, they don't want you to do this running stuff. I think they would just yeah, they just ignore it altogether. I guess you're always running. Oh, there we go. If not mobile input, public bool running. Oh yeah, it's just another not. All right, all right. This ground check distance I'm familiar with. We're familiar with. Um, hmm. So many different things. Gosh, and then more variables come up. Why do you have the function here, then specify more variables? I don't like the way this is set up already. Ooh, some advanced settings. Oh, is that how you do that though? Oh, that's good to know. I didn't know how. So like if you look in Unity, sometimes they have these other settings, and that's how you do it. So like advanced settings, bam, it's there. Mouse look. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm learning. I'm learning just along as well. So if you want these little collapsible things, you make a class within the class and make them serializable. I wonder if you just made them public. Would that do the same thing? Probably. Maybe not. So serializable public class, and then here's your variables. Cool. Love it. Love it a lot. Do you instantiate it though? Like how does that work? Uh, so like if I did this, Shift F12, where are you used? You're definitely used there. Yeah, you instantiate it. Okay. Cool. Oh my gosh, so much code to copy. But I want to I want to really type it out. Like I don't want to just copy it. Uh, so right. Hey Boston, Mass. What is the difference between Ruby and Ruby on Rails? Like I think Ruby on Rails is some kind of like souped up Ruby, right? Hence the name Ruby on Rails. Like maybe it was made just for server side platforms, hosting things, or something like that. And it's supposed to be better than PHP and all that because it can handle a gazillion million servers or requests or something like that. Okay, back to this. Let's get started. I'm already in an hour and 30 minutes. I don't want to last the whole 2 hours, but I might. So we have all this awesome code. I'm going to go ahead and do something like this. So, so they have the controller. Oh yeah, sorry. So they have the controller here, and then on the camera they have just a head bob script. And that is that it? Like how did they do their free look around and everything? Is that another script? Yeah, dude, 5 hour no stop stream. Right. Man, I gotta go relax for a bit and post this up on YouTube. And I mean, no one ever watches me on YouTube anyway, but making a 5 hour YouTube video, no one will sit through that. No one's gonna sit through a 2 hour YouTube video. 1 hour is pushing it. Yeah. Especially watching me just fail all the time. That's not fun. Alright, no, dude, let me get back to it. Oh, and Ruby on Rails is just a web framework written in Ruby for Ruby. Okay, gotcha. But yeah, Ruby's a language you can make anything into. Exactly. Yeah, you guys talk it out. I'm gonna copy this code. Alright, so controller, and on the main camera there's just a head bob script. None of that free look stuff's there. So I wonder if all the like free look stuff is in here. Oh yeah, mouse look. There you go. It's all in. So everything's in here. Um, Gosh, I don't want it all in one script. I really want to separate the controls and the actual movement into two different scripts. But I can't think of a good way to do it. So maybe this is exactly how I'm going to do it. Alright, so instead of copying it, I might just use it. I guess that's copying it. So I'm going to move this first person controller here. Did I get it? Camera is going to be player camera. And I'm going to delete this first person controller. So if I hit play, oh no, what's going on? I think things are colliding with each other. I somehow got to disable the script. The script is killing me right now. So this rigid first person controller. Alright, back to it. That works fine. When I switch over to this one, the camera toggle, what can I expect here? I think everything needs to be on here. I think I really need to work on how everything's organized. I am messing myself up. So let's just do that, and we'll call it a day for that part. Get back to it next time. I might make another stream tomorrow just because I didn't really make much progress today. But before I do anything, just so I can say I made a little progress today, I'm going to at least just add something to the screen. So what am I going to add? I'm going to add how much sand do we have currently collected. And I can do that, right? That sounds like something I can do. So I'm going to make a new text. I'm going to have sand 00, something like that. Or sand 9999999, something like that. I don't see that text anywhere on the screen. Maybe it's the color, maybe it's what I'm doing. Okay, the canvas. I want the canvas to be scale constant physical size, or scale with. Okay, yeah, let's do that. I'm going to pretend this is always a 1080p game, not necessarily. I want to match it 50-50. And where's the text? The text, I just want it on the top right hand. Oh gosh, yeah, there it is. It's so small. That text is like ridiculously small. So let's look at text right now. Here we go. Gosh, that is some small text. What if I did like best fit? Would that make it a little better? Okay, it makes it a little better. What if I made you like bigger? If I changed the width some and the height. Oh yeah, it gets better. I'm just thinking. Okay. So if I made you like 300 and I made you like 100, that looks okay. And I'm going to tell you go on the top right. That sounds good. And be right aligned. No, be left aligned. That way the number, this doesn't keep shifting everywhere. Okay. So I have a text. Now I just got to remember how to access the text. I don't remember. So this is going to be how much sand we have. I'm going to say sand text. Sand collected. Something like that. Okay. So this will be on the sand collection script. It's so hard to like concentrate and see the chat. I just realized how good streamers are to like program and look at the chat and answer it. Man, I don't have that skill. Not yet, at least. Okay. Every time we do anything to sand, collect sand, we will update the sand. So we're going to say game object. Oh, maybe we can just do it on enabled. So we're going to get our text box, or alright, so text. Text by default is not an object. But if you use the Unity engine UI, text is an object. So we have text, and what we'll do is on enabled, we'll just get it. So text, or do I just get it at the beginning? Let's see if we can just get it at the beginning. If we can just get it there, that'd be fine. Equals game object that find, and we just got to get sand, whatever we called it, sand collected. Okay. Of course, dot text, find get component text. Yeah, I think that's how you do it. Alright, so we got the game object and its component text, and all we have to do is just say text.text equals sand.toString, and we just do that in both places. So when we actually collect the sand, we update the GUI, this thing. So let's see if that works. Not at all. Oh, maybe we're not doing it. Okay. Oh yeah, that's working. I just gotta set to something different. What am I gonna do really? Maybe I gotta concatenate some stuff. So I want to say sand colon plus. Oops. There we go. And on the beginning, we'll just say sand equals 0, or sand is 0. Just not the best way to do it, but it's a way. So okay, you start off with 0 sand, and I kind of want this to be white. How do I do that? White. Add a little. Sand is 0. Okay. So our dude runs around, blah 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 blah, and then if he looks first person, he can start digging, collect sand, lots of sand, and then he can start placing sand. Yay, and we can see how much sand we have. Oh, we don't have any more sand. Let's collect some more by digging. Let's place some more. Cool. So yeah, there should totally be a limit of sand you can hold, but at least I just needed to do something that made me feel accomplished, and just showing a number makes me feel a lot more accomplished. So yeah, that looks good. That feels good. I will say I have accomplished something here today. And I'm going to quit it here because I don't want to go anymore, because I'm just kind of dragging it on. It's been dragging on for the last hour, so let's stop it here. Alright, let's talk about what we did, and I'll quit it. So we went to go to the README. We didn't do any of this crap. Yes, thank you, sir. I will do that afterwards. Episode 14, we're in the midst of doing this. We added scroll wheel for zoom, third person. Yeah, I got lazy, sorry. Added scroll wheel for zoom in third person. We added right click for orbit, third person, and we added sand counter GUI. What we need to do next time is well, hold on, removed camera pan first person. Next time we have to add first person rigid body movement. So that's what we got to do, and that's what I'll probably be talking about next time, is just getting that code to work with my object. Let's see. Yeah, so I mean, we did stuff today for sure. It just didn't feel like it. Like I wasn't getting that immediate satisfaction. So I'm gonna go to source tree. I'm gonna see what's up. Actually, before I go to source tree, let's clean this up some. I'm just using this first person controller, so I'm gonna get rid of this physics material, this roller ball, this third person character. Cross-platform input I think I need to keep. Physics materials and utilities. I don't think I need any of this. Oh, really? I needed it? Darn you. Really? I just need this first person controller. And what else do I need? The first person controller has the nope, the rigid body has the rigid body first person controller script and the head bob script, right? That's the only two I really need. Yeah. So, okay. First person controller I don't need, and the mouse look I don't need. I just need these two. But apparently it's using its utilities too, so I kind of screwed that up. I'm going to delete the prefabs. I'm going to delete the audio. I'm going to delete the... Yeah, I just need those scripts. But I wish it didn't try to compile it. How do I ignore it? Or how do I find the utility it's trying to do? Oh, those are the utilities, huh? Oh well. Oh well, oh well, oh well. Whatever. Leave it as it is. It's not gonna run. I hate leaving a game not able to run. I almost just want to change it now. I can't. Yeah, I can't do it. The game has to run. So I gotta do this. Even if it breaks all the code. Well, if it's all broken, I'll just comment it all out. I just need the code. Fine. And I already got you. Where's my Unity? Alright, so I'll comment it out, so it won't bother me. Alright, game can still run, right? I hate having a game that doesn't run. How much of PHP crosses over with Python, and how much with C Sharp? It's hard to say, man. What really crosses over is its ability to do object-oriented programming. So that's really step one. You just got to understand how objects work and classes and instances work. So PHP should help you learn that. But unfortunately, PHP also gives you the option to keep it very procedural or functional so that you don't have to actually learn the object-orientedness of it. So if you do learn PHP, I just recommend that you learn mostly the object-orientedness of it. Everything else is just kind of secondary. At least for your purposes of trying to cross over to C Sharp. Okay. At least it runs. Next time we'll get everything going. Remind me tomorrow. Let's finish this up. Okay. Right now we have all these uncommitted changes. So let's see what we got. Editor. Did we really update the terrain? Yeah, we updated. We played in the terrain. README. Standard asset stuff. Let me just put it up here and then sort it by name. Can you sort this by name, please? Yeah, you already sorted by name. Alright, so editor's fine. README, standard assets, editor, yeah. all you standard asset stuff. That looks fine to me. So I'm gonna so those are all staged. I'm gonna commit. It's gonna ask me for a comment, and the comment will just be whatever I have in README. So the README is this. And let's just copy that. Okay. Paste this. Lordy. Alright, push it. Commit. Done. Okay, so it's committed. For future reference, what's last? What else do I have to do? I think that's it. Sorry for kind of the slow episode. I hope the conversation at least kept it a little fun. Yeah, it might be that easy, dude. Yeah, like I said, learning C Sharp's not too hard. Learning PHP is not too hard. The hardest part of anything is learning the different libraries of it, like the actual functional part of it, like this equals that, or this less than that, this greater than that. That part you learn pretty quickly, and if you already have like experience with Python, man, like you're set, dude. You'll be able to pick it up in no time. But okay, on that note, I will definitely take Keyard's advice and update all my episode lists. You can catch me on Twitter at ETdoFresh. You can also find me on Facebook or just message me on Twitch. But yep, that's all I have for today. Sorry it's kind of a slow, non-productive episode, but I think we got some stuff done, which is good. And as long as we keep it up, we'll have a game up in no time. So have a good one. I'll talk with you guys tomorrow or scheduled on Wednesday. See y'all. See you next time. Bye.